Hey, baby. Welcome back to Unlicensed and Unbothered. It's Friday, which means we're back with Am I the Drama? And I feel like we've been in full, end of summer mode lately. So I
Yeah.
went out with my friends on Thursday, and honestly, I think it
hmm
was just such a nice night, right? Nothing wild, just dinner, catching
hmm
up, laughing loads. It was good. It was good to just slow down a little, right? Before everything just starts getting busy again.
Yeah, honestly, same here. I met one of my friends the other day and we went to the mall, just shopping around, walking, eating a lot of food and snacks in the food court. It was nothing really major, but it was just those little days that make summer feel like summer, just hanging out with the people that you
I
care
love
about.
that. I love that
Yeah.
so much because sometimes you just need something chill.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't been doing anything crazy, right? But
Mm,
it's been fun, you know? I feel like it's
yeah.
that balance you need because it's so important. Like, not every
Yeah.
week needs to be like loud and like crazy and exciting.
Exactly. And it kind of ties into today's story actually, because it's not the big dramatic events that shape you. It's those small day-to-day interactions, especially when it comes to family.
Mm. No, literally, I feel like when you've grown up in a family where belittling, belittle,
Belittling.
yes, that. Sorry, guys, sometimes I think and I can't speak,
It's
or like
okay.
mocking, is
Mm,
like a norm.
yeah,
So then I feel like even those smallest moments can stay with you forever because I feel like that's why generational trauma feels so common because it is, right?
hmm
Because it's not always huge, obvious things, but it's those little things that really cut deep and like stay with you forever.
exactly. And that's why breaking the cycle is honestly such a powerful thing. Like choosing not to repeat what was done to you and giving your kids or even yourself a, a different story is good.
That's that's really exactly what today's post is about, right? So it's from someone who grew up with those kinds of parents and they saw that same behavior being directed at their daughter and finally snapped.
Yeah. So let's get into it. Get ready, get your snacks, get comfortable, and Diva, go off.
Go off. Yeah. I'm
Go
going
off.
off, guys. I'm on my way offing going. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Am I the arsehole for kicking my parent out and saying this is why I was so fucked up as a kid? I had my parents over for dinner this weekend, they're in the 60s, and after my daughter, 10 years old, asked if she could play us a song she'd been practicing on her keyboard, she gets lessons.
Mhm.
It wasn't perfect, a few missed notes and a couple pauses, but I think she did really well. She looked up
Yeah.
at the end, massive smile, and I started clapping, and my parents started fucking laughing. Not just a chuckle, a massive fucking belly laugh. Them both. My mum asked if it was her first time playing it, and my dad said it had to have been. A dog could have played that better. It was like my daughter was shrinking on the spot, and she looked down and said, "No, I've had 2 lessons, but doing it with 2 hands is hard." And they just laughed harder. I stood up, took their cups, and said, "Leave now." My mum tried to say something about how they hadn't finished their drinks, they wanted to hear another song, etc., and I just said, "Get your stuff and get the fuck out of my house right now." My dad started doing this huffing thing he does when someone dares to speak up to him. And my mum said that there was no reason to be like this, that I can't protect her all the time, and she's preparing my daughter for the real world. I said, it's not teaching the real world. They're just nasty little bullies picking on children and shit like this. And this is why I was so fucked up as a kid. Now leave. They got their stuff and left. I sat with my daughter and explained to her how proud of her I was and how well she was doing. To ignore them. They were just being cruel because they don't know any other way to be. And I asked her if she could please play it again, which she did. On Sunday, I messaged and said that until they can behave like decent human beings, that we're taking a break away from them. My dad replied that it was my choice, but he didn't realize that he raised me to be so precious. Now, my lovely brown-nosing golden child of a sister is getting involved. She phoned me today with my parents' version of events, telling me I was a nasty piece of work and shouted, "Never speak to my parents that way." That I'm wrapping my child in cotton wool and blah, blah, blah. I just told her to go fuck herself and hung up.
Period.
I'm not asking if I'm in the wrong for standing up for my daughter. I'll always do that. But I did go pretty 0 to 100. I kicked them out straight away. I swore at them and in front of my daughter. I did raise my voice at the end when I said leave. I was and still am angry. I don't think I've ever accepted an apology from them. I'd even accept an apology from them at this point. The behavior isn't new. It's decades old. But this is the first time it affected my daughter. Did I go too far? React too much? Should I have tried to be calmer? Talk it out? I don't know. I think this is genuinely a good reaction from a parent because I feel like generational trauma is such a thing that affects people no matter how, old they are, right? It's something that can give you like trauma in general from various different aspects, whether it's like your family instigating it or people outside or just you've been in an accident or just different sorts of trauma, right? Because there's many. It can all affect you so negatively. Like there is never a time, right? That's why they call it trauma. There's never a scenario where you'll actually be happy with the way you turned out because of what happened. And especially a 10-year-old girl, she's not even a teenager, she's only 10 years old. She's had 2 lessons so far. What do you expect her to play like? I don't even know like how to say certain like pianists' names, but they are some of the most brilliant musicians we have out there, brilliant musicians, composers, etc. She's had 2 lessons. She missed a few cues. She got mistakes. Hell, she could have butchered that whole song and completely messed it up. And still, you should not have been in a position to be telling her all those terrible, terrible, terrible things because you are an adult. Like, how dare you, honestly? Like, I genuinely think he did the right thing. The father did the absolute right thing because what is wrong with you? Because the thing is, I feel like grandparents in general have that position in their life where they support and they love and they even if the parents are a bit neglectful or whatever, they still are supposed to be there because it's your grandchildren. But how dare you treat your grandchild in such a terrible way, you immature imbeciles?
Yeah, I agree with Diva. Like, what you did in that moment mattered more than anything else. Your daughter learned that when she is vulnerable, right, and shares something she worked really hard on, her parent will stand up for her, which is very, very good. And like the lesson will stay with her much longer than the memory of you raising your voice at your parents. Protecting her self-esteem in that moment was way more important than keeping the peace with your parents. And honestly, your reaction of going to 0 to 1 made so much sense. Like, the anger didn't come out of nowhere. When your parents mocked your daughter, it wasn't just about her song. It triggered the unresolved pain of all the times you were made small as a child. That's the nature of generational trauma. Like, your body, your mind, your brain remembers, even if it's decades later. So no, you did not overreact. You reacted to both the present moment and the years of accumulated harm they caused you. And honestly, cutting off or limiting contact may feel extreme to outsiders, like your sister, but it's often the only way to stop trauma cycles. Like generational trauma, it literally thrives on silence, shame, and keeping the peace. Like setting the boundaries and saying, hey, this ends here with me. It's honestly one of the most loving things you can do for your child and yourself. Like you've already done something very, very powerful. Like she saw you protect her, your daughter, sorry. You later explained your anger to your daughter and and apologized for you swearing, teaching her that adults can be accountable, can take accountability. And you reaffirmed her many times about her worth and the talent that she has after she was hurt. And that's the opposite of what your parents did to you. And breaking that cycle, that is breaking the cycle, honestly. And your daughter
Mm.
grew up knowing her voice and her joy like is worth protecting, right? Because generational trauma, let's be honest, it does not vanish overnight. It's normal that you still feel very angry or guilty about how you handle it. But every time you choose to show up differently for your daughter with love, affirmation, and openness, you're reappearing, sorry, what was broken in your own childhood. And that's not overprotection. You're healing. That's a very, very good thing, and I'm very proud of you. So
Real.
don't doubt yourself. Like what you did was hard, but that's exactly what cycle breaking looks like. Like you confronted decades of harm in just one night and made sure that your daughter didn't carry the same scars that you did. And that is not weakness, that's generational strength. And I want you to give yourself a pat in the back because what you did was a big thing for you and your daughter.
You know, okay. So they had an update out, right? So they're essentially talking about how their posts went everywhere, blah blah blah. But so they cut contact with their parents and sister, and their parents kept messaging, so that he was being overprotective and that he didn't know how to raise a child. So that he should look at how well, he's grown and how they raised me, right? So sister, right, still thought that I am committing some massive crime by talking to my parents that way and not agreeing with them. But so it's been about 9 months since those last messages. They've been blocked, and any fam that like messages them has gotten a warning that if they continue, they'll be blocked. So by Nan and Uncle Steve, I love that. Got my daughter piano secondhand of Gumtree. Dear fuck, are they expensive? Just over 5K for a small Yamaha. Okay, can we talk about how expensive instruments are?
They're so
Anyways,
expensive.
they were almost 1,500 to bring it up to scratch, keys and wires, another 130 to tune it. Pianos are expensive, probably ripped off, I don't know. She gives it up, I might actually cry, lol. She's 11 now, has lessons twice a week, which also makes my bank cry. But to be honest, I think she might be the next Mozart. Only piano person I can think of, just like me, couldn't think of one. But she practices all the time. I have a partner now and he's equally as supportive as me. She always grins and at the applause at the end of her shows, fortnightly to monthly. Thanks for all the previous love, blah blah blah. I've spoken to my daughter. I have multiple times since then. My parents are pretty involved in our lives, so their absence hit pretty hard at the start. I explained in kid terms the shit I went through, what they said and how they were wrong and how they shouldn't have, how I won't allow it with her. I also apologized for getting angry around her and swearing that she did get upset and said I scared her, which made me feel awful. But she seems to understand none of it was aimed at her and just was for her. She isn't scared of me or anything, and it was just an in the moment thing. I don't shout or swear around her normally. She gets that I love her and I'm in her corner. I always will be. And I think that is genuinely so important because I feel like a lot of the times the world can be against, it feels like the world is absolutely against you. But if the people that have like genuinely given birth to you and grown up and like taught you, to be the person you are today, if they support you, it feels like you can conquer the world. Because you, even if you just have two, three people on your side, if those two, three people are genuinely there for you, that's all you need.
That
And,
yeah,
I am so genuinely proud of them as an individual for standing up for their daughter, because I feel like a lot of the times the biggest betrayal a lot of children feel is when their parents don't, defend them to other people.
yeah, because
It's,
your
mm,
parents are your protectors. That's what
yeah.
they're supposed to basically be doing.
Yeah, and I feel like there are certain things, right? Mocking a child, treating them like shit, that's considered emotional abuse. And I get that a lot of people throw words like that around lightly, but that is exactly what it
It's
is,
emotional
right?
abuse.
But
Telling your kid that they're not good enough, or like just mocking them for like not being as good as you, it it stays with them.
And you know what, guys? I think a lot of the times, mostly everyone has some sort of generational trauma, or like
Yeah,
this generational cycle, that it's something in their lives and their family. It's something that's recurring through the generations, whether it's physical abuse, emotional abuse, or just doing stupid things. There's something. And you know what? Change starts with you. The day
yeah,
you decide that, okay, I'm going to do better, that's the day that better things will happen to you.
exactly. And
You need to try.
the people who have stood up to their parents and stopped generational trauma, I am so proud of you, because
Hmm.
what you're doing is a lot. It is very hard. It can be very hard on yourself, honestly. So I'm just very proud of you. And like, to the OP, like, protecting your child is very good, but honestly, maybe consider like therapy if accessible, or even like journaling, because it can help you process the anger and the grief so you don't carry it alone. Because breaking the cycle is exhausting, but you are doing it, and we're very proud of you.
We truly are. And
We
you
are.
know what? I think we've said a lot.
Yeah, I kind of went off, but we are proud of you. And guys, if you liked this, if you liked this episode, stay along. Can you like stay with us and listen to us yap and babble about all these
Just
issues?
stay along for the journey.
Yeah, oh yeah, literally. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you leave, do you have any drama, decisions that you might regret, situationships that make absolutely no sense? Please tap the link in our bio and submit to you after this. You little stupid love, tell you if you're wrong or right, give you advice, all with love. And we literally gave you drama, delusion, and questionable but decent advice.
Craving more? Good. You know where to find us. Consider this your new addiction. Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.
Mwah.